It was the front entrance to Washington School, and the kids all came in through that door. And this was the main hall. And I replaced Ethel Nicholson as principal. And the next year they hung a large picture of Ethel right in where that exit is there. And the kids all looked at her, you know, and they thought she looked kind of old to be a school teacher, but then that was after 60 years of teaching. But I said, before I left the building as principal, one of the students said, "Is that your wife, Mr. Ness?" And I said, "It's time to leave." And then this was my room, and we had lots of experiences as principal in here. One of the nice things about teaching at Washington School was the size of the classrooms. These were really nice sized classrooms. So even though we had 40 students, it was a good sized classroom. And one of the things I noticed that they've done is they have changed the windows. There used to be all one big long window with real thin glass there. And when it was cold, we really got the breeze through those windows. The kids who sat on the row of desks over there would often have to move over to this side of the room because it was cold sitting next to that little thin glass window. And another thing I noticed in the room since I've been teaching here is the number of plugins in the wall. We had one. And when we started with educational TV, to bring the TV into the room, you had only one plug-in that you could plug the TV into. So it was a real handicap if you wanted to have a record player or any other thing that required electricity. But it was a very good teaching experience. And of course, the nice cloak hall. We always had a room, so if you wanted to have another group practicing for something or reading, they could be in the cloak hall and still wouldn't interfere with what was going on in the classroom. I loved it here.
This is my room, my first part of teaching at the Washington School, and so I had this room assigned to me. It was for third grade. And when I came in here, I looked around and I thought, how nice. I've got a lot of space. I've got room for many rows of children sitting here. Well, I'll get back to the thing I saw first in here was this cupboard. And it had glass doors, but they're gone. I miss those glass doors. There was books, textbooks in here, and in the bottom I would have paper that we could use, you know, for making posters and pictures, and scissors and paints and artwork products. This was one of my favorite bulletin boards in the classroom. I can remember to this day a poem about Abraham Lincoln when he was celebrating his birthday. And we made pictures where Lincoln was cut out of black paper, the silhouette, and we mounted it on red paper to make a nice little picture of Abraham Lincoln. And that was so attractive. I thought it looked so nice. Then in here we had big shelves, been changed a little bit. I don't see those shelves anymore. But on that big shelf right here, we had thick stacks of artwork paper so that there wasn't room for all of it down in those other cupboards. So, and that was the cheaper quality artwork paper, so we could store it out here. And then I used to store a lot of the pictures that weren't finished by the children out here too, so that they would be in good shape when we were going to get back to work at it. Then we had a whole big cupboard here with hooks where they could hang their coats. And then there'd be a shelf to put whatever they wanted to put on that. But I see it's been changed since I was here before. I always could use a blackboard. I would, you know, when I send my third graders up to the blackboard, they could make the tables of threes, 3 times 1 equals 3, 3 times 2 equals 6, and do it as fast as they could. So they were learning their multiplication tables. That was fun for them too. Of course, some went fast, some didn't go so fast, but they caught on. Now this is something new too. This was all blackboard. Oh, I'll never forget those big windows out here in the cloak hall. It was really cold. You could feel the draft coming in around the window sills. So I think this was a big improvement to make these nice windows in this building. Now I come to this wall. This wall wasn't here when I was teaching. It was just put in now, I don't know how long ago, but I think they needed extra classroom, and so they had one group here and another group on the other side. So it's quite a change for me to see that. Then we go down this way. And they've got some more, well, we had blackboards, but I think they have another row of blackboards here too now. So, and we had rows and rows of seats. I suppose there were around 30 children, 30-some children in here, and they knew where their place was. So they would sit there, and my desk would be here. If they had a little trouble with their math problems, I'd help them at their desk, or else they would come up this way, and we'd have a little session while the others were working, and I could explain to them what they were supposed to be doing.
I spent all my years at Washington in kindergarten, and the room that I had was unbelievable. It was huge. It was kind of sunken, so you had like 3 steps down to the main floor. And so when it was story time, we just had a natural area where the kids would kind of hang out and sit on the steps. Once in a while it was used for jumping off, but it was a great place for having story time or just kind of gathering to do some talking.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Museum Roadshow on TV3. Remember, on the Museum Roadshow, history repeats itself every 4 hours.